Good Friday afternoon. Bob Rankin, Northeast Funding, with Jami Durante Rogowski from O'Connell and Aronowitz. Hi, Jami.
How are you, Bob?
Very good. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Jami is an attorney with O'Connell and Aronowitz, and she breaks every stereotypical mold you would think of an attorney. As a matter of fact, she's not an attorney. Although she's a legal attorney, she's a closer. She's one of the best I've ever seen in the real estate business. Jami, how did you get in the business?
Very long time ago, over 25 years ago, I was working in a bank and we were doing closings, and it interested me. So after I went to law school and I went to work at O&A, O'Connell and Aronowitz, they offered me the position of real estate. So ever since then.
So you went right from college into O&A?
I clerked through law school at O&A, so I've only known one job since 1994. So.
Are you a native New Yorker?
I am, from Schenectady. Mm-hmm.
Now, rumor has it that if we wanted to get the best Italian sauce around, you make it?
That's my goal. That's my ultimate goal in life, to make the best sauce around. So
you grew up in the area,
mm-hmm.
local in the area,
mm-hmm.
and you've got a couple of cheerleading fanatics.
I do, yes.
Are they on the traveling team on that when they do the
They do. They go to all the competitions in the area for Niskayuna High School. I'm very proud of them. So.
Very, very, very nice. So, in other words, I was going to try and get over last night to buy something, as I thought it would be a good prank, getting you a Mets jersey. but I think I would have been better off getting a Giancarlo Stanton jersey.
Yeah. So just not to shock you, I actually am a Mets fan too. I live and die by the Yankees, but I'm a New York girl, so the Mets are not a problem. If you brought me a Red Sox jersey, we'd have an issue. So that's a little different.
So, question people always ask in mortgages, they'll say, "Okay, I'm buying a home. Do I have to have an attorney? Is it advisable to have an attorney?" What exactly does a real estate attorney or a closing attorney do when somebody's buying a residential property?
Okay, so in New York, you don't have to have an attorney. Obviously, anybody I know, I recommend highly. I advise it highly. I think it's a bad decision not to have an attorney. There's too many moving parts. We work very closely with the lender. We work very closely with the agents. And obviously, we work very closely with the seller's attorney, because the sellers can have an attorney. So we start by negotiating and reviewing the contract during the attorney approval clause. Then we will assist with any negotiations that are necessary and any review necessary on the inspections. The most important and critical element, I believe, after inspections and after the financing is the title report. So the title report is generated and we review it in detail to make sure that you're getting good, clean, clear title. It's critical. And then we do your figures and we go to closing with you and we go through all the documents and we make sure you hand those keys over.
Now, the one thing I can say is a policy of Northeast Funding. We go to every closing to make sure it's exactly the way we promised the customer. And if you think about it, when you're buying a house, it's a contract. When you're signing all the closing documents, they're legal documents. It's important to know that somebody's going to explain it, quote unquote, in layman's terms. That's what Jami is excellent at doing, is making sure that you understand exactly what it is you're doing. But to your title point, Jami, and I got to be honest, this is something that I have not had all the answers on. What's the difference between the title policy and an owner's policy? And is an owner's policy really necessary, or a value market rider?
Yeah, so that's a really wonderful question. I love title. It's my favorite part of my job because it's the history of the property and it's very interesting. We get a search, we turn it into a title report, which is basically the summary of the findings. Okay. Anything that's a problem is highlighted, so your lender's looking at it, your lender's attorney's looking at it, and your buyer's attorney's looking at it. We present it to the seller's side if there's a problem. If it's clean, the bank gets a title policy. That's your normal required title policy, and that protects the bank in the event anything goes wrong. And let me tell you, things can actually go wrong. Old mortgages that were paid off, but the document wasn't recorded and to clear it off of the record. Things like that, judgments, forgeries. I've had a forgery. Very interesting things, but can delay closing and cause a title problem. That protects your lender only, that policy, and that's required as part of your commitment. The fee policy protects you, the homeowner, if anything was missed in that search. You have human beings who are some of the best in the business, but they're going to the county clerk's office and they're looking through these documents, they're online. If something was missed, and I can tell you horror stories that come back, it is your problem after that deed passes. Can you sue the seller? Sure. Can you sue all the parties that are guilty? Sure. But litigation attorneys usually want a very substantial retainer to even begin a lawsuit defense like that, and then they want an hourly fee. It could break the bank. If you have this policy and it's a one-time fee, it protects you as long as you own the house. All your legal fees are paid, and any damages that the homeowner incurs because of the mistake or because of the title problem is covered. It's a no-brainer. You're basically paying for 1 hour of a defense attorney's legal time up front, and it protects you the entire time you own the house. We've been to seminars lately. We all go to one in the area. It's a very good seminar put on by the Schenectady County Bar Association, and they actually say it's malpractice if you tell your client not to buy that. So
Really?
That's how strongly I feel about fee insurance.
I got to be honest. I guess I've misunderstood that for years, and it makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, if a owner's policy is going to cost you $300, $500, $600, $700, that's a heck of a lot less than $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in retainer fees just to get the ball rolling.
You nailed it. Right. Now, do title problems happen a lot? No, they don't. We have great searchers in the area, but when they do happen, they're catastrophic. So it just makes more sense to have the insurance.
You know, to your point earlier, and I think sometimes people don't think about it. When you're buying a home, it is a contract. It is the single biggest investment you're going to make in your life. And you want to make sure that somebody is dotting the I's and crossing the T's on your behalf, especially if you have a home inspection done. And for example, to kind of flip it a little bit here, there's a property condition report, but do people always have to give a property condition report?
They don't. So under the statute, they can offer a $500 credit at closing, but that's causing some problems with some banks. They don't like that. They want that disclosure. So that's been a new challenge. Listen, it really comes down to, I don't think our disclosure is perfect. It really comes down to having a very good inspector. Hopefully your loan officer or your attorney or your agent knows a good one. There's plenty of good ones in this area. And they do a thorough inspection of the house. That's really the bottom line on that. The disclosure, if someone lied or committed a fraud, you're still going to have a lawsuit. And that's not good for anybody.
No. So if I'm understanding you right, it's good to have a good team, whether you have a good lender, a good real estate agent, a good attorney, watching out for your best interest. It makes it a smooth transaction.
Agreed.
But if you have somebody who's not a full-time real estate attorney, which I got to be honest, I've used this example all the time. You wouldn't go to a dentist for oral surgery. You go to an oral surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't go to a matrimonial attorney for a real estate transaction. You should go to a real estate attorney.
We get a lot of referrals from matrimonial attorneys just for that reason. They prefer that we handled it for them, and then we can work side by side with them on the transaction. So.
Jami Rogowski, opened the office in Latham for O'Connell and Aronowitz. She has a full staff and a full team of real estate closers, title agents, and closing agents. If you need help in purchasing a home and you need a good attorney, I would highly recommend Jami Rogowski. I'm going to get that right one of these days. Jami Durante Rogowski.
It's a mouthful. So.
Jami, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You have a great day.
You too.